Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop. I know it's been a while, probably too long to be honest, certainly for my liking. But I'm coming back to you today with a video of what I'm going to call some basic prototyping. In these packets, that is a complete kit, just about a complete kit for an airframe. It'll probably transpire what it's going to be or what it's going to take inspiration from as we go forwards. But this is going to be a new kit, hopefully. Very early stages just now. I've actually got two identical prototype kits here, one of which I've already started looking at, already found some issues with, and I've already got some revisions being made. That's all to do with the fuselage. That is the fuselage. As you can see, I've 3D printed a modified part. That's not going to be in the kit as such, but if you can see what that is, you can probably tell where we're getting our inspiration from, and you can also probably tell the size it's going to be. So yeah, the fuselage is already being reworked, but really I want to work on the wing. So yeah, you're probably all asking yourselves, what is this? Well, you probably would have seen the SAS thing, 1.5 meter that we do, both as powered IC or electric and as a slope soarer. This takes its inspiration from that design, the proportions and everything like that, but it's half the size. This is only 750mm wingspan, 2-channel aileron control, exactly the same as the other things, fully built up, all laser cut. It's come about because Ewan and myself have got these little wings. These are 490mm. These are from Banggood or somewhere like that, and they fly really great. They're little park fly type wings, flying little 2S1000 packs. But Ewan was flying it down the beach, and if I remember, I'll put a link up here, with the dog, and he's like, it'd be good if we had one of these sort of things as our own design that we could fly at the beach and just not worry too much about, and that got the ball rolling. Now that was probably over 6 months ago. It's taken that long for me to process this and figure it out and think how we want to do it. I've had some help with the design side of things, but I've basically fed in what I want. This chap has come back, and if you're in the UK you might recognise who it is when you see how it's constructed. He's come back, given me a design and produced a couple of kits for me. As I said, it's going to be revised already, and at the time of filming there's new parts on the way to me already. I want this to be a fun little model that you can fly almost anywhere. I don't know what weight it's going to be. It's probably going to be over the 250 gram category. But this is going to be powered, so this is going to be probably overpowered compared to the bigger one, but it's not going to be ballistic, I don't think. And you can certainly tone it down if you want to. I also want to do this as a slope version as well. And that'll come as a secondary kit afterwards. I want to get this one done first and then turn it into a slope model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you along for the ride of building the first wing. I'm going to try and talk you through what I'm doing as I'm seeing it. So what I'll do is I'll bring you in closer and so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so as you can see, paper plan. This plan, again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see on camera, but this plan is literally just the plan itself. There's no details, there's nothing on there. All of the parts, they're not all there. Some of the parts I've already taken out to have a look at. That's two main spars. I've already noticed a little thing I want to change with these as well, just because of how they're cut, wood bending and this, that and the other. Hopefully that won't become a problem. So we'll have one somewhere there like that, and one that side. Let's see what else we've got in here, shall we? So as I said, this is a complete kit for the wing. It's not a complete kit for the fuselage because I'm getting parts revised for that already. So even like the sheeting is all laser cut. Top and bottom sheeting, so that's bottom sheeting, top sheeting, which will need a couple of little holes made in it. There's lots of bits and pieces in here which I've got to figure out what they are so I know where to put them. So that's top of the fuselage, which is going to be different, so we don't need that. Leading edges, we're using dowel as a leading edge, and then all the ribs will lock into that. The fin, you might be able to see this hole here. That's going to have the facility to have a magnet in it, so that you can, if you want to, make the fin removable. It just means that if you wanted to pack it, to take it away with you somewhere, it's a bit easier to pack, less likely to get damaged. That's another piece of sheeting. That's a piece of sheeting. So then we've got 16th balsa trailing edges, upper and lower trailing edges. Should be 4 of them, which there is. 2 elevons, which I know already needs a modification for the adjustable horns. It can only be, the horn can only go into 1 set of holes just now. It needs a second set of holes, but that's easy enough to do. There's a magnet in there as well, 2 magnets, sorry, for the fin. What I'll possibly do for the very first one, as I said, I've got 2 kits. I'll possibly make the first one, the fin fully fitted, so it's not removable, and then make it removable on the second one, because I want to see how durable it is. Pushrod material, you probably can barely see that. And then what everybody likes, all the balsa ribs, all identified and very nicely cut. So first thing I'm going to do is get these ribs cut out and try not to break any. They have got what I call building tabs, so that you can, as long as you've got a flat building board, which I've made this one specifically for this, the building tabs are flat on the bench. It keeps everything square and true. All you might need then is some pins to hold things in place, but the plan is to have it as self-jigging as possible. So that's going to be R1R. That's going to be that one. Spar goes there. Okay. I wonder how easy this is going to be to take out. So really, let's see what we can do here now without stabbing myself on pins with regards to this spar. So that goes that way. So I will need to sand a little bit of the root there, which is to be expected. Just need to, so again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see, there's not enough angle on the spar to allow us to line up properly. So there's not enough width in these slots. So all I'm going to do is just take a light shave off all of these. Just to try and help with that a little bit. It's basically just like chamfering the edge. Actually, I'll get a needle file. That's going to be better if I can stand up. Right, so little needle file. Just to ease it just a little bit. So it's actually going to be the balsa as well, which needs a bit of an easing. A little bit more. Okay, so just a passing thought, I'm gonna see if the trailing edge sheet will actually hold these ribs in place. If I slide them into here, getting very delicate. So I'll do that one in a minute. So that is actually starting to look like a wing. Starting to look quite good, I think. We have got riblets to put in, but they're not going to support themselves. So what I've got to figure out now is, where do I glue first? So I need to jig everything in place to make sure it's square and true. I'm thinking I might run a piece of tape along the spar line and possibly on the trailing edge line, just so there's no glue sticks anything to the plan, because that wouldn't be very good. So the trailing edge is holding it all quite well together. There's another piece that goes on top, slots in there, but that'll be like a later thing. I think I might need some pins. I don't know if this board's going to take pins. Okay, I think I'll have a think on this, but we're getting there. I said this is the prototyping. The first build, lots of things going on in my head. It is going to be good when it's done. It's going to be really nice, I think, when it's done. Especially when you've got an elevon. That way. Elevon there. That's why I haven't seen tip blocks. There's tip blocks somewhere. And then you're going to have, I don't know, R9 in there. So that'll be a nice snug fit. But yeah, I think what I need to do, already I'm looking this bar needs to be having building tabs as well to keep everything level, because that's going to be a mistake already. So if there's little building tabs there, 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 and there maybe. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it, but you have to excuse the noise outside. Yeah, so as much as I want to commit to glue on this, I think I need to get some pins on this. So this is like hardboard, I don't think pins are going to this well. So I need to get something I can put pins in. Figure out what I'm going to pin in first. Pin it down where it needs to be. Start jigging things. Start gluing things. Because the ribs have all got building tabs on them, which is good. So they're all going to be, the wings are going to be built true. Spar needs packed up, which is fine. Yeah. Okay, I'll come back to you in a bit once I've had a good think about this and develop some more. Okay, so I think I left you with me trying to figure out how I'm going to pin down these parts. The solution to that is some cork tiles that are self-adhesive. They are now on their way. They might be here today, I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do is stick them to this piece of MDF, then put the plan back over the top, and I should then be able to just pin down into that. And then we can carry on with the wing. I think I said before, I've noticed a couple of little quirks, mistakes, whatever you want to call them. Things I need to change with this build already. But I think I mentioned before previously that I was getting some fuselage parts recut. These are now here. Just on a quick look, I'm not quite sure where this former's meant to go. This doesn't match drawings that I've seen. So I've asked a question about that. But we should be able to start getting this together. The firewall, that's like a sub firewall almost, that the firewall bolts to or screws to, which is going to make it a lot easier for motor changes and whatnot. But this should be something we can just get on with just now, hopefully, and see what a fuselage looks like. So, dry fits, again I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but we've got like a longeron that sits inside the bottom line of the bottom edge of the fuselage, so that the bottom sheeting, for want of a better word, can sit inside and flush, gives it a nice strong joint. So I'm butting the longeron up to the firewall, which I'll then clamp in place, but then I'll take the firewall out before gluing, just so I don't glue the firewall in prematurely. Right, we'll let that cure. See what this one's done. Right hand fuselage side. Firewall is there. Now I'm actually going to get a square onto this, just to try and glue it square. And a little bit more glue on the inside. So the lower forward's got the air ducts in it. Again, just holding that in place, flushing it up the front of the fuselage side, and a spot of glue down the joint. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, because I'm doing a lot of it in my hands. I'm going to grab the kicker. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Just to make sure everything goes off solid and relatively quick. Now, I haven't done the glue joint for the firewall to the bottom here yet. I'll do that once the other fuselage side is held in place and squared up, because at the minute I can then move that firewall just a fraction to line it up. So that means we should be able to get the second fuselage side on. Hold everything nice and tight and square. Drop of glue. And then just a little drop along the front. And then just for good measure, I'm going to go from the outside down the glue joint. Just to make sure everything is secure. And it's starting to look like a fuselage. Hopefully a recognisable fuselage. So the rear, there's going to be this piece in here. But what I need to do is I need to actually work out which way round this rear plate's got to go, because the cutout for the fin being here is going to slot into that. And I think it might have to be the other way round. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't actually remember which way round this has got to be. I need to go and consult the drawing, I think. This is all part of prototyping though. But I can see that's going to be a good fuselage for this wing. Where are we? So what I'm thinking, actually, is if I fit this so that the cutout is towards the rear, I can always bring it forwards. Yeah, that'll work. So I need a little clamp that I can't reach. So I don't actually know what this formula's for at the moment. I can't find it on the drawing, but what I'm going to do is just use it as a spacer to keep everything square and true, because I know it is a former, but I'm not 100% sure where it goes. But that's how it's going to be, sort of thing. So at the moment we've got two hatches, but one of these might be fixed. Not 100% sure yet. We've got to see what it's like with a CG. So I was saying about the motor mount. This is going to be for 22. I'm going to say 2208 motors. Could be wrong, but I think that's what we're going to start with. And again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see. There's some plastic motor mounts in here that are already spaced for those motors, and then the outer holes will fit into there like that. So that's the plan, and it is coming together quite nicely. It's nice and strong. It's all light ply, so it's going to be nice and strong, and then kind of something like that. Gives you a feel for it. So yeah, when I can get this cork tiles in here, we can carry on with the actual wing build, because I don't think I can do any more with this just now, which is good. That's relatively quick. So yeah, I'll come back to you once we can do some more building.